Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm doing my November reading wrap up. So it was a little bit different this month. I was in a very much mood reading feel this month, so I ended up completely trashing my TBR for November when I picked my TBR jar prompts. I had a plan to finish a good 4 or 5 of them, and it just didn't work out. I may have finished one, I can't remember, but it has just been insane, and I'm like halfway through 2 other books, which I should be able to finish by tomorrow, which is technically the last day of November, but I just wanted to make sure I got this video up for you guys. And yes, so let's go ahead and talk about the books that I read this month. So for the majority, I actually read a good almost 20 books, but about half of those were Archie comic books because I was just in a comic mood. I wanted something relaxing and feel good during this holiday season. So I read a ton of Archie comic books. I'll put the covers here of the ones that I read. Most of them were wintry themed. I think some of them were closer to October themed a little bit, but most of them were wintry reads. So I read a ton of Archie comic books, had a great time with them. I don't really rate Archie comic books only just because they're comfort reads for me, and I just don't feel the necessary need to really rate them. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but usually I just love to enjoy reading them just to relax and yeah, just to relax and enjoy myself. So still love a good Archie comic book, and I actually haven't really read hardly any in the past couple years, so it was nice just to read a bunch this month and just relax and enjoy myself because I do love a good Archie comic. And my family used to ask me haven't you read every single Archie comic book ever made? And I said, not necessarily. Yes, they do repeat comic books or comic stories within the books quite often actually, but there are still some stories out there that I have never read. So it's nice to go into these books trying to figure out if I've read them or not, because I usually remember the majority of the stories that I've read from Archie, but still really enjoy them. All right, let's go into my rest of my books. I don't really have any stats today, only because I still don't have my reading journal completely done yet. It is close to being done, but I still have some things to finish up in order to also do my 2025 reading journal flip through, which is coming in a few weeks, so I need to finish that as well. But we're just going to go ahead and talk about the books that I read this month. So I think the majority of the books I read were Christian fiction, but I did end up reading, I think, 3 mainstream fiction books. So I'm probably going to go not in order of what I read, but I'm going to try to do the books that I don't have physically first. So that'll help me keep track. So the first one, I actually do have a couple of DNFs that I'd like to talk about. Not many. I think I only have one. And I did not, unfortunately, get to reread The Princess Bride with you guys. I know it was supposed to be a buddy read in November, but November just went flying. Some days felt so slow in the beginning of the month, and then the last 2 weeks just flew by, and I have no idea what happened to the 2 weeks that passed. So I had no time to finish or even start rereading The Princess Bride, but I've read it a good 10 to 15 times, so I'm okay not rereading it. And I don't think anybody joined in on the discussion page on Fable, which is totally okay if you guys are enjoying the book, which I hope you are. And I probably will continue and reread it again, hopefully by the end of the year. But if not, I'm just going to start it in the beginning of the year again. Because I did end up reading it, I think, last December. Last December, I think I read it again. So it was a little too soon for me, I felt like, as well, because I usually don't read it quite that close together within a year. Usually I read it every couple years or even more than that, but I hope to get to it soon. So the only one that I decided to DNF was The Bitter End Birding Society by Amanda Cox. I just really was not enjoying it. It was just a little slower for me. It was okay. There was some parts that I really enjoyed. I really liked the past timeline better than the modern timeline. It was a dual timeline thing going. It's about a woman who, I guess, experiences a traumatic event in her school where she's a teacher, and she decides to take a little bit of a break and take care of her aunt's house for a little bit. And so she goes there and discovers kind of how the town got its name and kind of her family history as well. But overall, it was just a little bit slow paced for me. So I decided, it just wasn't the right time for me. So I just decided to put it down. Volume 1 of the Unselected Journals of Emma Lyon by Beth Brower. You guys have been suggesting this series to me for so long, so I finally got into the Emma, that's really hard to say, Emma M. Lyon series, and I did complete the first volume, and I think I have like through volume 5 or 6 on audio at my Libby app, so I can binge read those if I want to in December. And I think I gave it a 3.5-star rating. The beginning was a little bit slow paced for me. I think honestly these are very short books. They're like novella length. So for me personally, I tend to give novellas roughly an average rating just because I really want more detail in a story. I just felt like it was kind of missing a little bit more of the detail. So if it was a little bit longer, I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. And I think it was closer to 3, but I did enjoy the story as the story progressed. So in this one, we're following Emma, and I think it's like very much Regency. It's a clean romance series, and we're just following Emma as she writes in her diary on what's happening in her life. And so yeah, so I think there is going to be a little bit of a romance going on later on, but I'm excited to see what happens after the fact. So we'll see. And also has to do with like her inheritance and what happened with that as well, which was really sad. A Very Merry Matchup by Becca Kinzer. I've been wanting to get into another Becca Kinzer book, so I picked this one up. I think it ended up being 4 stars for me. I did really like it. I liked the romance and the story. It was just a very sweet, cozy, wintry feel, and that's what I wanted kind of in the beginning of November. I just wanted something cozy and fun, and that's what it gave me. It gave me a feeling of that Christmas joy, and was just a very light-hearted Christmas read. So if you want something light, something fun for Christmas, I highly recommend A Very Merry Matchup. I received the e-arc of Book and Ladder by Savannah Scott. So thank you to the author for sending me a free copy of that for my Kindle. So I am about halfway through this book right now. I'm not quite done with it yet. So I will post my review of it on Goodreads and Instagram probably either, well, it will be up before this video goes out. But I am enjoying it so far. It's about these 2 characters who I believe they were in a romance in high school. It's a little bit confusing as to why they broke up. I don't think we really know yet, even like halfway through. But we're following these 2 characters that were kind of like a love match, then to enemies, and now we're back to hopefully more. But we're following these 2 characters. The main male hero is a firefighter, but he also has a secret book life, which I think is so fun and so much fun. But he's kind of keeping it hidden from his family and his friends because he thinks he'll either be picked on or not taken seriously because of what he does. And then we're following the girl who is the owner of a bookshop, and the bookshop is now kind of in danger with this kind of corporation that's trying to take over the small town. So it also kind of has that Hallmark feel to it as well a little bit, but I am enjoying the story and I'm enjoying the banter between the 2 characters. It also has that storyline of You've Got Mail as well, where we're kind of following both characters where they don't know who they're messaging, but you know, as the reader we know. So I really enjoy that part of the story. And then the last one that I don't physically own that I read was A Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. And I just really wanted a like adrenaline rush thriller story. I haven't had one of those in a long time. I wanted something that'll just keep me on the edge of my seat and just wanted something a little bit more exciting. So I picked this one up and I actually really did enjoy it. I think there was a few swear words here and there, but it wasn't a lot, which I was appreciative of. But I did end up really enjoying it. I think I ended up giving it, I think, 3.5 or 4 stars. And this is about a woman who, I believe her husband has passed away and she's living at home with her 2 children when an intruder comes into their home. And she is, you know, she's freaking out. She's like, what are we going to do? It's like right in the beginning of the book, you know, what's happening? Who is this man? She kind of recognizes the voice and she's like, we need to hide. So she shoves her kids into, I guess, this like secret room that their house has, and she locks them all in. And so it's kind of her trying to protect her children, keep them safe, while also trying to puzzle the pieces together and trying to figure out why is this man inside my home and what's going on. So it was really good, very intense action, really enjoyed it. I feel like it just needed a bit more of a punch, I guess, to the feel of the story, but I did overall really enjoy the intense action of it and trying to figure out, like, you know, some people aren't believing her that this is happening. Some people kind of are, but like they don't even really know her because she kind of also has that anxiety factor as well, where she really doesn't leave her home and stuff. So her neighbors don't even know her really. So really, really liked kind of the locked room mystery of it all. And now we can talk about the books that I physically own. So the first one is Echoes of a Silent Song by Amanda Wen. And this book was actually kindly sent to me by Just Read Tours for a review. So thank you for them for sending me a copy so I can read and talk about with you all. So this one is about a chorus teacher and a pianist who accompanies the chorus at the high school. And they're working together to discover this piece of music that they found in the school music library that has no name. It's an unfinished piece, and they start to play it and they find out how beautiful it is, and they're trying to figure out who wrote this song. And then we're following in the past on how the song was actually created and the story behind that song. And it is just, it's very, very heartbreaking. It's a beautifully told story. I ended up giving this one, I believe, 5 stars. I loved it. It was so, so good. I loved the storyline, the characters. I will say though, there is some trigger points in this story, so if you want to know them and don't want any spoilers, just leave a comment down below and I will answer your comment about that. But I did really enjoy this story and I liked both timelines. And there's also a little bit of a romance story as well. The Royal Artisan by Tessa Afshar. This is the second book in her Queen Esther's Court series, and I really enjoyed this one. This is about, is it Zahara or Susanna? And she creates pottery for Queen Esther's court. But Lord Haman is a man that she kind of gets her direction from and is pretty much her boss. Well, Haman finds out some interesting things about Susanna, and so she's kind of has a secret that she's been kind of hiding from her pottery business as well. And there's a little bit of a second chance romance in here where we're following a man who broke her heart years ago, but now she has to work with again in the present timeline. So I really enjoyed it, and we're continuing the story of Esther kind of in the background as well on what happened with Esther in the Bible and the Jews. And I just really enjoyed this story. It was very, very good. I think I gave this one 4 stars as well. Dark Design by Nancy Mell. This is book 2 in her Erin Delaney mystery series, and I really like this one. We're continuing the story of the same character from book 1, Erin Delaney, and she has learned that a serial killer has been copying mysteries or murders from authors' books, including her own. And so she is tasked with the police force to try to figure out who is doing these crimes. And I just really enjoyed it. Kept me guessing until the very end. I honestly did not guess who did it, but it was very, very interesting and intriguing kind of thinking and plot line to it. So I really did enjoy it. And I love the main character as she has anxiety, social anxiety. So it's kind of interesting to see that aspect in a character. And I think I gave this book either 3.5 or 4 stars. Then the last book I have for this month is Through Each Tomorrow by Gabrielle Meyer. This is the 6th book in the Timeless series, and let me tell you, there is definitely some reasons in this book why you need to read them in order, because you will definitely get a little bit more connection if you read the other books. That's all I'm going to say about that. So in this one, we're following a male time crosser, which I've been waiting for since the very beginning. I really wanted a male time crosser just to enjoy his story and see where Gabrielle Meyer would take us with a male author or a male character. And I really did enjoy the timelines and the storyline. I just got very confused with following the characters, because we're not only following like the 2 main characters, there's also 2 other characters. And so I really struggled trying to remember who was who. And pretty much still struggled through the end, honestly, with names. I really did struggle. Once you go past 2 and possibly 3 characters to follow, I just have a hard time following. So that kind of pulled me out of the story. But I did enjoy the timeline as well as the characters. In this one, it's the Queen Elizabeth era, where we're following in like the Queen's court, which I love that part of history. It's one of my favorites to read about. I love that. Following the political intrigue of the Queen and everything, and I just really enjoyed that. And then in the other timeline, we're kind of I'm still kind of trying to remember what the other timeline was really about. It's just about Charles, who's a poor farmer. Oh yeah, and he's posing as the Earl of Norfolk. So that also confused me, because he's posing as an earl in the one timeline, and in the other timeline, you know, it's just very confusing that way. So I was kind of confused with the timelines because we're both kind of following royalty in each timeline, which was also a little bit confusing. But overall, I did like the story. It just probably wasn't my favorite in this series. I think I gave this one 3.5. So it was my lowest of the book ratings in this series, but I did still enjoy it. So those are all the books that I read in November. As I said, it was a very comic book heavy month, which is totally okay. That happens sometimes, rarely for me, but I'm happy that it happened because it was just nice to relax and read some comic books. And yeah, so it was lots and lots of fun to just relax and enjoy these books. Next month, or well, this month as you're watching this video, I plan on reading a ton of Christmas type books. I do have Kindle Unlimited now for a few months, so I probably will grab a few books off of that list as well, because there are definitely some reads that I have been just waiting patiently for, as hopefully I would be able to get another trial for Kindle Unlimited. So I have a giant TBR that I can choose from there. So let me know what your favorite read was for November. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I read as well, down in the comments. So I love talking to you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.